This My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Kinetic Performance, the makers of the Rolls-Royce of barbell monitoring technology, the GymAware. Guys, in season training, we rock the GymAware all the time for quite a few reasons. The first, of course, is just that, the ding. Every time the athlete hears that, they know that they're hitting exactly what we need from them at that moment. And when they don't hear it, it brings out that extra little bit of competitiveness within themselves. On top of that, that awesome ding ends out bringing together the athletes as well, pushing each other and getting each other to be able to hit numbers that they probably wouldn't hit at that portion of the year. And finally, of course, that ding helps us monitor, manipulate, and keep track of volumes and intensities so we can best dose our athletes during the season at the right time with the right amount. Guys, hop over to kinetic.com.au and check out what Evan and the team down there have, because this is absolutely a sensational product that's changed the way that we've trained our athletes. This edition of My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Valid Performance, the team behind the Nordboard, ForceDex, the Groin Bar, and Human Track. Guys, the most important ability for all of our athletes is availability, and that's the absolute goal of Valid Performance, is to provide solutions to performance professionals so that we can get the right information to make the right decision at the right time for the betterment of the athletes that we get to work with. To do this, guys, they have a wide range of validated products that focus on usability, and having been founded by the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences at the Queensland University of Technology, they're extremely evidence-based and they're beyond transparent. I can tell you that our time using the Nordboard and being involved with ForceDex, we have been introduced to so many amazing people that have truly helped us become better coaches, have a better understanding, not just of the technology, but also what we're doing with our athletes. So make sure you hop over to valperformance.com today to make sure you check out what they got. It's going to make you better and to do better by your athletes. Hey everybody, if you enjoy the podcast and the content that it provides, make sure you hop over and check out the all-new Strength Coach Network. The Strength Coach Network is the combination of the CVA SPS community and the Rugby Strength Coach community, bringing you what is sure to be the internet's leading resource for continuing education for strength and conditioning professionals. Combining these two resources has allowed us to bring some of the best content from some of the best minds in the world together for your one-stop shop to better improve the continuing education for not just yourself, but your entire staff. Bringing together all of the lectures from the Rugby Strength Coach community, along with the lectures exclusively done for the Central Virginia Sport Performance community, and all the lectures performed at the Central Virginia Sport Performance Seminar, make this an absolute must for performance coaches around the world. The world-class lectures at the Strength Coach Network are not all that you'll see as well. The discussion in the forums and the support and the career guidance from some of the top practitioners in the world, from people all over the world, makes this an absolute must and a great place for you to network, learn, and grow as a performance professional. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com and use the code CVASPS, that's CVASPS, to get your 48-hour trial for only $1. We're sure you're going to find great value in the Strength Coach Network and are really excited to have you involved. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com and use the code CVASPS to check it out today. Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is DeMayo coming at you with this week's edition of My Thoughts Monday. And today I kind of want to touch upon something that I think is something that we need to talk about a little bit more within the coaching community. And I want to start out talking about something that I think that a lot of us really kind of wear as a badge of honor. And that is that, strength and conditioning coaches or the profession or high performance or sport performance or physical preparation coaches, whatever we're going to call ourselves moving into 2019, have always kind of worn this badge of honor that we wear multiple hats and we perform multiple duties and we do a vast array of different jobs within the team environment. You look at someone like Alan Bishop down in Houston, who's done an amazing job providing nutritionally for his student athletes. You look at people who have done a fantastic job, like Mike Curtis, when it comes to the sports science end of it, if you want to say things like that. There's people that are doing things outside, if we may, outside For those of you not watching and just listening, there's been a lot of air quotes of the strength and conditioning or the physical preparation aspect of it, um, that are doing sensational work and really donning those extra hats with pride and doing amazing things to better the individuals that they get the opportunity to work with, that may be outside of the typical thought of the weight room or the track or whatever people think that strength coaches do nowadays. Um, and part of that also comes, with the relationship building too, with these kids in order to understand them better and understand like what to provide for them better and understand what they see things as and then getting into understanding how they react to stress and what that is and almost being in a way sort of a sports psychologist, where you develop these relationships that are really uh, deep for the most part, where some of them may be with kids too that, you never see on ESPN or you never see on the court or the field or whatever. They might be the people chilling with you, um, helping you keep people back, sitting with you at the end of the bench, having fun during games, watching, cheering people on. Um, and that's a big thing with all of us, right? Is this whole idea of people first and doing those things. And again, if you look at what our job description is, obviously it's to develop these people as young people to help them become better people in the long run. Um, so getting so close with them is a big part of it. But another hat that we wear all too often is that of like the tough guy, right? Or the tough girl, the disciplinarian, the individual who's sitting there and getting in people's faces and getting them fired up. And, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, some of those have been shown on TV and the internet ad nauseum. We can talk about that another day. Eventually, I probably will. But anyway, and when you look at that whole idea of us being, the tough guy and being the hard ass, if you may, there are some times where I think that there are people who go through some pretty significant events, and because of us having to have this turtle shell like exterior that has just been hardened like medieval armor around us because we're the tough guys, we're the fighters, we're the battlers, we're the ones that are in there grinding with these kids all the time, that I think that when difficult times arise or when tragedy shows up or there is difficulty of one thing or another in a coach's life, whether it be team-oriented or not, I think because of kind of that overblown, angry mystique that comes with being, the hard-ass strength coach that seems to be what everyone's looking for, that individual coach has a hard time stepping back and looking and being like, I might need help with some things as well. Um, and I think that more and more people, Brett was talking about this a couple of weeks back when he talked to it was either high school or middle school kids talking and asking about anxiety and depression, and even getting to the point of suicide, I believe. And it's a scary thing. The kids that young are bringing that up and being involved in those discussions. Now, it's good that they're open to discuss about it, but the fact that this is something that has permeated younger culture to the point that it has become an open talking point, to me is frightening. And it still is one that I don't think the coaching world is even close to being good at when it comes to looking in the mirror and addressing those situations. When bad things happen, we're the first people that see the kids typically because we're the first people in the day that see the kids, and we're the first ones there to offer the ear and the door's always open and all of those things, which is the right thing to say and what anybody should say or would say or could say, right? Because we do care, like I think that there is an overwhelming, an over resounding amount of coaches that live by the mantra of, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think for the most part, the kids understand that as well. Um, but with that being said, uh, you also need to realize that there's people out there that are willing to listen to you and are willing to be there for you. Because like going alone, it's just not gonna work. It isn't, and you're gonna be into some pretty deep weeds, trying to get out of that. Um, because at the end of the day, being there for the athletes is great, but if you aren't there, you can't be there. Um, so you have to make sure that you're also taking care of yourself. And when we look at these trying times and we look at things that are difficult or catastrophic in those sort of nature, there's a lot of resources out there that are available. If you don't want it to be something that becomes more open, and because again, I understand the persona that a lot of people feel as though we have to display, right? Like we got to be the rock, we got to be the tough person that's there and can stand up and be good for everybody else. But having that moment of weakness is going to be what really might be what really ends out saving us, later. Um, so I have a friend who puts a lot of this information out on social media. So, and I know that there's people, especially this time of year, where they run into things that are hard. There have been things that they have gone through that are difficult. There have been things that, through the holidays, there are things that, trips them up a little bit, or as much as the word I just don't like, but like triggers them in a way that, it's just not positive. Um, there's a ton of different resources available. I've linked about a handful of different resources for coaches to reach out to if there is the need. Because, again, if keeping the persona is what is important and you need to do this behind closed doors, there are ways you can do that as well. But don't hesitate to utilize the resources that you have on campus or within the organization that you work with. And more so, like, we talk about building relationships within staffs and this and that. Like, if you have built that relationship within the staff, there should be someone there that you can talk to as well. So, just know that you're not by yourself. You're not alone, and there's people with you, and and there's people that'll care about you and help you through it. So, not trying to be a huge downer today, but this is something that we've been dealing with, and I think it needs to be addressed. So, if there is, if it's just a text with somebody, there's a number in the show notes for that. If you need to talk to someone a little bit more in depth, there's numbers below for that as well. So please, reach out and know that there's people around you that are there to help, and resources that are there to help, and you're not by yourself. As always, guys, thanks for everything you do for us here at Central Virginia Sport Performance. And we'll be back next week with another My Thoughts Monday. See you then.